Morning, Robert. You are muted, Robert.
Robert, can you hear me? Please unmute your.
You still appear muted. It's showing you as muted.
The organizers, you may please see. Sometimes I could not have my microphone and video. The same problem may be happening with Robert. Please check it. Maybe your setup had something also. Robert is trying to unmute, but he is not able to do that.
So we'll figure it out, sir, within short time.
ধরে ডাকেন তো ওই লোকটারে।
Hello, Robert. Hi. Hi. So, since you couldn't really
মিউট করবো।
open the mute button, so I would request you join the same link again, and then maybe you will see join the video and audio, and you click that, and then you come to the stage. I hope and that I hope they then you will have the audio that time as well.
So Robert needs to log out and then again in. Exactly, that helped me also.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
So should we start, sir?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Today's program, honorable chief guest, excellencies, distinguished guest, assalamu alaikum. On the behalf of the Art Society, I, Mohammad Mamun Mia, welcome you all to this auspicious occasion, this World Environment Day 2021. So this program, like we are live in this program in different social medias and different pages. We are live this program in the art page, Art Society, our official Facebook page, Ittefaq page, EMK Center page, and also our honorable Parliament member. He also like live in his page as well. So like I'm just giving you the short description of the Art Society, like what we are doing from this our organization. The Art is non-profit organization working on community development, youth engagement, volunteerism, emergency response, and disaster management. So the Art aim to nullify the major social inequalities and problems with the vision to making positive change in life and nature. At the name, the Art suggests the endeavor aims to stay connected as close as possible to very base of the planet. This is the people through engaging and resource to their maximum potential. The Art set up its dream to create more awareness while working on community development, youth engagement, volunteerism, emergency response, disaster management, minority development, and also plan to enlighten Bangladesh with the positive and effective as a whole. The Art express everything by its own name. We are working for utilizing the possible potential of a community to ensure their better livelihood. And we have already started like few of the project with the European Union and plus Erasmus Plus, It's called, this project name is Growing Together, and we're also doing one project with the UNDP Bangladesh. This project name is with the Diversity for Peace, and our project name is Unity is Identity. We are working with a diverse young community in our country. So this is the one, and we are also working with a few of the research project with the our young generation during the COVID time as well. We are also response the like during the COVID time and help out our young generation and community. So, and we are doing now climate camp, and we are also working with the climate issues all the time. So this is the thing, and the art expresses everything. So today is a special day as we are gathered here for this noble initiative of the earth to stand for our mother planet and to celebrate its blessings on this World Environment Day. The main idea behind celebrating World Environment Day is to highlight the importance of the environment and to remain people to nature should not be taken for granted. According to the UN, this day provides us with an opportunity to broaden the basis for an enlightened opinion and responsible conduct of the communities, expertise, and the individual in preserving and enhancing the environment. So, honorable guests, excellencies, organizers, and media personnel and viewers. In today's program, we have with us His Excellency Dr. A.K. Abul Momen, Honorable Foreign Minister, People's Republic of the Bangladesh, Mr. Robert Dixon, British High Commissioner to the Bangladesh, and our Honorable Parliamentary Nahim Razak MP, Convener of the Climate Parliament Bangladesh, Abul Kalam Azad Sir, Special Envoy to the CBF Presidency of Bangladesh, Sudipto Mukherjee, Representative UNDP Bangladesh, and also Monor Mustafa, he is working with European Climate Foundation as a country lead. So distinguished guests, dear climate activists, audience, and everyone, welcome you to today's program. Thank you for making time and joining with us here today. So ladies and gentlemen, I would like to request our co-founder Shakila Satrina to the art to introduce today's event with her welcome speech, and please welcome Shakila Satrina to for her speech. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maman Bhai. I hope you can hear me. Just checking. Okay. So Robert is joining. I can see Robert. Hi, Robert. Can you hear us now? Hello, Robert. Yeah, no. Okay. So I will start, and then we'll soon see like if we can get out from these technical issues. So I will start. First, I want to start my speech with a message, which is that we are the last generation who can restore our mother nature, because we are generation restoration. Today, the Climate Camp 2021, an initiative of the Earth Society, is happening today on the World Environment Day, 5th of June 2021. Following the launch of the UN Decade of Ecosystem Restoration 2021 to 2030, Climate Camp encourages youth of Bangladesh to take action on resetting their relation with nature. Selected 50 organizers will be hosting Climate Camp at their own communities. 400 plus participants will join the Climate Camp from different parts of Bangladesh on the topic of resetting our relation with nature. And they will also provide and submit their idea, solution, and best practices. Our purpose is to build a community-level network of climate citizens in Bangladesh, bringing the community-led initiative, solution, sharing best practices for better adaptation and mitigation, and providing them opportunities for collaboration locally and globally. Because we believe In this process, every small step has a significant impact to achieve the goal of the decade of restoration and SDG 2030. And through the power of youth, we can reimagine, recreate, and restore our Mother Nature. On behalf of the whole Earth team and members, I would like to say that we are very proud that the youth of our motherland has taken their bold steps, which has already brought us together here, not only in Bangladesh, but we have our interns and volunteers from Denmark working with us, and a climate enthusiast from Fiji who is organizing a climate camp in his nation to collaborate with this initiative today. Today, we are more confident as we get our Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen, MP, here as the chief guest. He is the man of honor and thought leader. Thanks, sir. Thanks a lot for considering this youth initiative and giving us your precious time. I show my highest gratitude to the two most inspirational person for us to develop the project, Mr. Naheem Razzaq MP, convener of the Climate Parliament Bangladesh, and Mr. Abul Kalam Azad sir, special envoy of the Climate Vulnerable Forum Presidency of Bangladesh. This is a great honor and big boost for all of our organizers and also us that we have His Excellency Mr. Robert Chatterton Dixon, British High Commissioner to Bangladesh, to get the global perspective from him. The directions of Mr. Sudipta Mukherjee, Residence Representative, UNDP Bangladesh, and Mr. Monawar Mustafa, Country Lead European Climate Foundation, will guide this network, especially the youth network, to work together and bring the outcome of the climate camp in the true light of the impact on our Mother Nature. I would like to thank all the organizers and our participants again for working together and wish them all the success on their own climate camp, which will be happening the whole day right after this program. Lastly, I would like to finish with my opening speech by saying a beautiful quote from the World Environment side, that we cannot turn back time, but we can grow trees, green our cities, rewild our gardens, change our diets, and clean up rivers and coasts. We are generation that can make peace with nature. Let's reset our relation with nature. I would like to share and I would like to show, we have a video presentation for all of you, how the climate organizers are working, and now we are going to share that with you. Thank you so much.
মুন্সিগঞ্জের লোহজং থেকে বলছি।
আমি মোহাম্মদ মনির হোসেন চট্টগ্রামের আগবসী এলাকা থেকে বলছি।
আমি ময়মনসিংহ থেকে শাহরিন সিদ্দিকা জয়িতি বলছি।
দি আর্থ সোসাইটির সহযোগিতায় একটি ক্লাইমেট ক্যাম্প আয়োজন করছি।
Thank you, Shakila Satatrina, for your nice welcome. Also, like I hope this audiovisual appeared insightful to you all. Thank you. Now I would like to request our honorable special guest in this program. So please welcome our next like a special guest, Sudipto Mukherjee, resident representative UNDP Bangladesh for his speech.
Thank you, Muhammad Mamun Mia. Honorable Foreign Minister Dr. Abdul Momen, Member of Parliament, my very senior, respected colleague, and person I look up to, Mr. Abdul Kalam Azad. He is the Special Envoy on the Climate Vulnerable Forum in Bangladesh. My friend Naheem Razak, young beacon of youth and Member of Parliament. We have, hopefully we have High Commissioner Robert Chatterton Dixon also been able to join us. Mr. Manohar Mustafa from the European Climate Forum. And of course, Shakila Sattar. All of you, very good morning. Let me first of all start by congratulating you for organizing this special event on World Environment Day. They say better late than never, or at least let me at the outset highlight that the World Environment Day does present a somewhat perfect moment to speak about the health of the planet while we discuss about human development. COVID-19 has magnified our historical mistreatment, neglect of the planet, and this calls for renewed efforts to heal it. I also find the moment particularly timely as one reads the various discussions about the new budget bill which the Honorable Finance Minister has presented to the Parliament a couple of days ago. Perhaps not just economists, but also environmentalists must seize the opportunity to take a critical look at the national budget. Grow we must, but not at the cost of environmental diseconomies. Here let me quote Mahatma Gandhi, who said, "The earth, the air, the land and the water are not an inheritance from our forefathers, but on loan from our children." Now let me come down to Bangladesh. Mother Nature has always been one that protects the people of this land. I've actually seen it for myself. During the country's extreme vulnerability to natural calamities like cyclones, floods and landslides, forest coverage in the local context remains a particularly important aspect in fending off natural disasters. This is proven time and again, and in most recently when cyclones Fani, Amphan and Yas made landfall, during which time the Sundarbans along the coast played an instrumental role in acting as a natural shield which minimized physical damage and loss of life. However, as Bangladesh excels economically with an impressive outlook for the future, a more holistic approach to our development efforts are required, especially keeping in mind the environmental aspects and especially prioritizing conservation of forests and wetlands. It is important that we challenge our own social norms and thinking about trade-offs between development and nature. In fact, we have to do things differently. There are no trade-offs. By neglecting Mother Nature for the sake of growth, by all means will only transfer the burden of our gross neglect to future generations. Let us remind ourselves that human interference continues to threaten the delicate balance of ecosystems created millions of years ago, and Bangladesh too is at a very critical juncture, with annual deforestation rate being double that of the global average. In 2010, Bangladesh had 2.22 million hectares of forests, covering 16% of the country's total land mass. However, just a decade later, in 2020, the country has already lost 21.5 thousand hectares of tree cover, equivalent to 11.16 megatons of carbon dioxide emissions. Planet Earth is at risk with climate change, and the diverse land and life underwater are threatened, and peace for most has fallen victim to what is only prosperity and progress for some. This is the global picture. The concern is not just about unplanned industrialization and urbanization leading to large-scale forest deforestation. It is also important to note the substantial threat to the loss of species and biodiversity that deforestation actually poses. Many old citizens of Dhaka, and I've heard this from many of you actually, keep reminding me about how over the years many birds and bees and butterflies and different plants and trees have disappeared from the city. The level of interconnectedness we as human beings have with Mother Nature amazes me, and I think as humans we often take this for granted. The food we eat, the water we drink, medicines we take, fuel and energy we use, clothes we wear, and the shelter we have are all dependent on vibrant and healthy ecosystems around us. Until we appreciate the beauty and complexity of this natural synergy and reconsider ourselves as coexisting factors within the ecosystems, we will not be able to achieve a holistic development approach in our ways. Unfortunately, the COVID-19 pandemic has perfectly underlined the importance of mending our relationship with nature and has signified that the health is intimately connected directly to that of planet Earth. The dramatic increase in recent numbers of zoonotic diseases, not one. We have seen COVID-19, we have seen Ebola, SARS, swine and avian flu, are being increasingly attributed to unsustainable exploitation of nature, and the only real solution is to change our ways at all levels in protecting the ecosystems and preventing the degradation of natural habitats and biodiversity. I must highlight a few good works which are already happening by the government of Bangladesh. It has designated a total of 52 protected areas and 13 ecologically critical areas to systematically manage and restore the degraded environment. This is to be lauded. To that end, UNDP has been a long-standing partner of the government of Bangladesh, and we have had the privilege to provide technical guidance and strategies to reduce emissions from deforestation and degradation of forest coverage. UNDP has also supported the Forest Department in expanding the operational coverages of protected areas in the Sundarbans. Through a conservation project, 3 new dolphin sanctuaries also approved the participation of the local communities to ensure sustainability. And I have actually seen, if you go back to the Sundarbans right now, you will see that the Gangetic, the famous Gangetic dolphin until recently, which was actually a threatened species, we can see numbers of them which have come back. The alternate livelihood support provided to more than 1,000 community households have also empowered women and reduced pressure on harvesting of natural resources within the Sundarbans. With a staggering population of 170 million and an ambition to obtain a fully developed status by Bangladesh must generate further momentum in aligning favorable policy and regulations across all sectors to achieve a concerted effort in ensuring environmental protection. The 8th five-year plan, and I have actually gone through the 8th five-year plan of the government, is an excellent starting point in doing so, coupled by a whole of society approach which is required in all planning, programming, fiscal reforms, and budgeting stages. And that's why we need to, while the budget bill is being discussed in Parliament, people like Mahim and others, and even the Honorable Foreign Minister, I think we should all be looking at what more can be done in terms of the years 2021 to 2030 has been declared the UN Decade of Restoration, a global mission that aims to protect and revive billions of hectares of valuable natural capital, whether be it forests or oceans. And as we observe World Environment Day, we heard the theme from the opening speakers on reimagine, recreate, and restore. I would like all of us to reflect as human beings being a major part of the problem altering the environment, but also could be a part of the solution. In fact, as we speak, we have entered into what is called the age of Anthropocene. It's the age of humans, where human beings themselves have become our own existential threat. So we can be an integral part of the solution. On World Environment Day 2021, I would like to once again reiterate the importance of protecting our environment and biological assets, not just for our sake, but for the sake of our future generations. Before I conclude, let me once again mention one of the several invaluable teachings of Mahatma Gandhi. More than a century ago, in 1909, he already prophesied that the development in Western societies in the form of insatiable pursuit of material pleasures was a threat to planet Earth. In his writings, the Mahatma had warned the Western society of the ill effects that their overconsumptive lifestyle could bring on the planet, and appeal to people here in this part of the world that overconsumptive lifestyle could bring on to not be trapped by the lure of material gains. The Mahatma also reminded us that Earth provides enough to satisfy everyone's needs, but not everyone's greeds. Achieving a green and graduate Bangladesh will require a number of bold actions. First, policy and regulation in all sectors should be aligned and harmonized to address the rapid destruction of the environment. Second, building on the past lessons from success and failure, the country needs, in line with the UN Decade on Restoration, a market-based approach of polluters pay, beneficiaries pay, and green tax, which could be developed based on broad-based partnership with the private sector. Third, we must invest in social norms, sustainable consumption, and production patterns. This is SDG 12. Transformation to a society that's with such norms would give Bangladesh a unique competitive edge at the global trade and investment. In fact, finally, at the global stage, Bangladesh must play its leadership role as a natural expectation from a leader who's a champion of the earth. Bangladesh has been seen as a champion of the earth in elevating political attention on the Convention on Biological Diversity. We have Abul Kalam Azad here. He takes the Bangladeshi voice to the rest of the world. We join him in this effort. This international effort from Global South would help establishing a global fund on ecosystem restoration, creating a commitment for net zero biodiversity and ecosystem loss by the end of 2030. And this is a new and growing expectation for Bangladesh. I have the foreign minister in front of me, and I would say that Bangladesh will become a country that not only works to make life better for its own citizens, but also for the planet. We want Bangladesh for the planet. Let me end by asking the message of the UN Secretary today. He had said, we are rapidly reaching the point of no return to the planet, for the planet. We face a triple environmental emergency: biodiversity, climate disruption, and escalating pollution. For too long, humanity has cut down the Earth's forests, polluted its rivers and oceans, and plowed its grasslands into oblivion. We are ravaging the very ecosystems that underpin our societies. And in doing so, we are depriving ourselves of the food, water, and resources we need to survive. We need to replant and protect our forest. We need to clean up our rivers and seas. We also need to green our cities. Accomplishing these things will not only safeguard the planet's resources, it will create millions of new jobs by 2030, generate returns for over $7 trillion every year, and help eliminate poverty and hunger. Science tells us that these next 10 years, in fact, we have less than 10 years left, that our final chance to avert a climate catastrophe, turn back the deadly tide of pollution, and end the loss of species. So let's today be the start of a new decade, one in which we finally make peace with nature and secure a better future for all. Thank you once again, and congratulations for doing this wonderful climate camp. And I'm very fortunate that Mr. Abul Kalam Azad actually, gave me the privilege to be called today. And I wish all of you, the generation restoration, the very best. And let me assure you that UNDP stands next to you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Sudipto Mukherjee, for sharing your kind thoughts with us, and it will enlighten us to your words and thoughts for our participants who are basically joining with us in our program, and also who are basically joining with us through our social media pages. So, like if you have those are joining with us in social media and also organizers, you can ask us in the page as well. So thank you. So now for the technical difficulties, so like we had a plan to start from one of the panelists from Monor Mustafa. So I would like to request Monor Mustafa to share with us your thoughts about the program and for your perspective and also your organization perspective as well. Thank you.
Thank you, moderator. Honorable Chief Guest, the Foreign Minister of Bangladesh, His Excellency, the Honorable High Commissioner of the United Kingdom, Honorable Member of the Parliament, Special Envoy to the CVF, UNDP country resident representative, and the youths and the students and the community activists associated with the Art Society. A very good morning to all of you. Dear friends, I'm honored to be here today to join the inaugural session of an interesting venture the Art Society has taken to organize the Climate Camp, to connect youths to save the planet and the nature. I firmly believe that this is the prime task of the time and the noble duty of the youths. This is everything for the future, and the future belongs to the children and the youth. Apparently, the initiative appears as national, but in a deeper sense, I would say it's global, as the planet is in danger. The planet has become endangered simply because of the inhuman act of the human being. We have made so much damage to our Mother Earth and nature, and the nature is now fighting back what we call it as global climate crisis. Over the centuries, an absolute metabolic rift has taken place, a rift between human and non-human nature, as we try to do mastery over the nature, completely ignoring the metabolic relationship between the two. And we must recognize that we have damaged too much. The damaging effect is what we call now the global warming. If excessive emission of greenhouse gas is responsible for global warming that causes the present day crisis, the best way to fight against climate crisis is to reduce that emission. Based on this assumption, the world leaders have come to an agreement to reduce the emission level toward zero by 2050 to protect the globe from an imminent catastrophe. As a result, now we are left with two daunting tasks. First, governments around the world must take necessary preventive measures to reduce the emission of carbon dioxide gases as embodied in the historic Paris Accord. Second, devising strategies and actions to cope with new situation that calls for being adaptive. We are one of the most climate vulnerable nations on earth while emitting less. But we can't sit idle as far as the task of reducing the emission is concerned. As we are currently leading the Climate Vulnerable Forum, a platform of 48 nations, it's a tremendous opportunity before us to show the whole world a path to zero carbon by adopting new technologies in the energy generation, while asking big emitters and polluters of the world to stop emitting even faster than us. As a CVF nation, we are also committed to attain 100% renewable energy by 2050. And interestingly, it is the blessings of the human innovation, science and technology that has shown the path, successfully created a new discourse that even a least developed country can attain economic prosperity with less emission if it successfully adopts new renewable technology. It requires us to get out of the use of the fossil fuel that dominates the whole world now. Recent global experience shows that renewable is the destiny. And this is the most powerful weapon to fight the climate crisis. I firmly believe that to make the world more safer and greener, to avoid a catastrophe, to save the planet, nature, and ecology, and ultimately to offer a livable world for our children and the future generations, it is the duty of the youth to speak out while offering the best way to save the planet and ecology. It essentially requires strengthening the voices of the youth, both at national and global level, with a view to convince the national policymakers as well as global leaders to act diligently based on science. I always love to work with the youths, as my immediate past in the college and the university was full of activism mobilizing youth voices against social and political odds. The Art Society dreams for a new world, and so do I. The Climate Camp I hope the climate can be a successful one. I'm ready to help if asked. And thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Monor Mostafa, for your kind word and your thoughts for the climate and planet, and also like give us best wishes for climate camp. Thank you. So, dear guest participants, and like allow me to welcome our special guest, Mr. Abul Kalam Azad, Special Envoy of CBA Presidency of Bangladesh, for his speech on today's occasion. Thank you, sir.
So, thank you very much. Honorable Chief Guest of today's auspicious event, Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen. I respect him very much for his sincerity, knowledge, and dynamic role. Sudhmita Mukherjee, who delivered a very nice keynote speech, I should say. At the same time, Mr. Marwan Mustafa. I want to add with the verses of Quran and statement of Pope Francis. In Quran, it is said that Allah created everything in pairs and everything on necessity. Pope Francis, he told a few years back that God always forgives. Man, they forgive sometimes, but nature don't forgive. So if we don't do justice to nature, nature will not do justice to us. So this is simple accounts and simple doings. So how do we want to get our environment, world, this Mother Earth? It is, we need to decide exactly. This is our role to decide. Nowadays, in the nature, in Bangladesh, very often we find the rare species bird. Even the common birds like doel or dove or trion or green pigeon or water hen, parrot. So these are being extincted. So why bird are being extincted? Because there's no food, no shelter. We are destroying the trees. We are not providing natural food to them. And at the same time, global warming, more rain, less rain, drought, and all this. So we need to play with the nature. A global prediction is by 2050, the population in the city will be more than double. So do we think that we need to conserve the biodiversity of the cities? In Bangladesh, we have shown our resilience. Commonly, we used to tell that 50 years back, Cyclone Vola took 500,000 lives. But Cyclone Amphan of same magnitude took only a few hundred. Only thing is that we have our resilience. From vulnerability to resilience we have. We know how to handle the nature, how to handle the cyclone, how to build the cyclone shelter, take the people to the shelters, their cattle heads and all this. But in terms of devastation, it is not reduced. It is rather multiplied. In Cyclone Amphan, and prior to that, the embankment which were destroyed, till we could not repair. How? How do we repair? Because the sea level rise more. We need to heighten the embankments. In terms of the inland, the river beds are silted, no room for water. in some of the places you will find that riverbed is higher than that of the paddy field. So dredging needs to be much more strengthened. Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, she is very keen. Whenever any project on water development is with her, then she used to tell we need to spend 70% at least for the dredging. So this is changing the situation, but we need to work hard. We need to work further. In Bangladesh, government is taking a special plan with the Climate Vulnerable Forum. You know, the 48 country having this platform of Climate Vulnerable Forum. This vulnerable country now led by Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. In the last 8 October, when she was launching the event of CVF, she told that taking steps, time is not tomorrow. This is today. So the political will is very clear. And she instructed to have the Mujib Climate Prosperity Plan, where all mitigation, adaptation will be included. Looking towards 2100 Delta Plan, incorporating 2041 developed country. So how do we reach there? Through the Mujib Climate Prosperity Plan. So not only for Bangladesh, she instructed the CVF Secretariat to prepare a template. This prosperity plan can be implemented in other countries according to their needs, according to their national program. So in 48 countries, we will have the climate prosperity plan. So the thing is this, we are struggling for 1.5 degree, but in the meantime, we already increased global temperature by 1 degree. You see the temperature of Dhaka city, much more higher, more than 41 degrees Celsius. It is about 42. And the feel-like temperature is much more because of the emission of temperature by the roads and the emission of temperature from the buildings. The feel-like temperature is much more higher. We need to look into that also, that how best we can utilize the city for producing much more oxygen, capturing much more carbon in the roof gardens, balcony gardens, and all these. So political program is in Bangla, Amar Gram, Amar Shahar, my village, my town. In the last election manifesto, Honorable Prime Minister declared my village, my town. The meaning is keeping the facilities of cities into village and maintaining the nature of village in town. So the water ecosystem, the tree plantation, the life cycle, all this needs to be maintained in the city, so that in village you will get all the facilities of city. At the same time, we will maintain the nature and also in these cities. So this would be the magic way for Bangladesh to maintain its biodiversity. Today, this is the landmark day, 5th of June, for the World Environment Day. I believe today this youth organization came out with this program. We are very encouraged because information disseminated through the child to parent is the most effective way. Here, young parliamentarians are there. They will raise their voice, and at the same time, our young people, they will raise their voice for the whole society along with their parents. I think this will be the much more effective way to get back our nature. Globally, $100 billion yearly. Our Honorable Foreign Minister is working very hard. Only 2 days back, Alok Sharma, who is the president of the COP26, our Honorable Foreign Minister raised his voice with him, so that together we can raise the vulnerability countries' voice in the global forum to maintain 1.5 degree and $100 billion at least for a year. So the only Earth single no plan B. Honorable Foreign Minister told on day before yesterday. We have no plan B. We need to move with only plan A, only this planet, Mother Earth. So no way to neglect this. We need to maintain this. We need to strive hard for our development with nature. No compromise with the nature. Thank you very much for inviting me today.
Thank you, sir. Your support and like in this program and your insightful speech. It's really enlightened us. So now it's time to ask our very own next special guest, Mr. Naeem Razak MP, the convener of Climate Parliament Bangladesh. Take now time to our over to you, Naeem.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon to everyone. The Honorable Chief Guest, Honorable Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen, MP, Minister for Foreign Affairs. Of course, we have already heard inspiring statement by Abul Kalam Azad, the former Principal Secretary, of course, the former SGD Coordinator for the Prime Minister, and obviously today Special Envoy of CVF, Presidency of Bangladesh. We have heard inspiring thoughts from Sudipta Mukherjee, Resident Representative of UNDP Bangladesh. Of course, we have with us the High Commissioner to Bangladesh from the United Kingdom, Robert Chatterson Dixon. We have heard from Manowar Mustafa, country lead, European Climate Foundation, and of course the organizers and everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me. I know we are pressing times, so I would be very brief in my statement. And this two-day session is very important and very dear to me because I personally believe that this generation needs to take a lead in creating an ecosystem which will actually ensure their future aspirations. On this day, of course, we all are here to actually take a vow of activism. I think Mother Earth, the nature, is sending us a very clear message. The message is that we are harming our natural world to our own detriment. This habitat, the natural habitat, is being degraded and biodiversity is being lost, which has been accelerated. Climate disruption is getting worse. Fire, flood, superstorms, lightnings are more frequent and damaging more. In recent times, Bangladesh, as vulnerable Bangladesh is, we have seen the effect of Amphan, Yas, and the frequency and the death through lightning. So this is something alarming. We all believe that the world needs to care about humanity, and to care about humanity, we must care for our nature. And the World Environment Day focuses on the eco-restoration theme. This year will mark the formal launch of the UN Declare on Ecosystem Restoration 2021 to 2030. The climate camp that has been organized by the Earth Society. I congratulate you. Of course, the three big words that we have is reimagination, recreation, and restoration. With this due note, I want to emphasize on a couple of issues, the topics that will be discussed throughout this 2-day. Of course, the most eminent is what I believe, since I work with a lot of youth organization, is that youth-led climate action must be prioritized. And hence, the climate literacy is something that we want to promote. Activism through proper utility of our resources. From the government's point of view, we want to focus on plastic recycling policy. We want to stop deforestation. And of course, the Honorable Prime Minister has given priority in terms of plantation, environmental pollution in terms of air, water, soil, hence should be stopped, and we should be more eager to and we need to be more kind of careful in terms of utilization of our resources. Clean and renewable energy is something dear to us. Of course, Climate Parliament Bangladesh has been very engaging in renewable energy. Hence, the Shredder Act in 2012 was formed through our supervision. And of course, Shredder, when it was institutionalized in 2014, we had our footprint in it. So Shredder, under the leadership of the Ministry of Power and Renewable Power and Energy, the Honorable Minister recently has mentioned that the targets for renewables into our power mix is around 40% in the near coming years. So this is something good, and of course we want to see this thing through. And of course the most important thing is human behavior. Human behavior must be subjected to rigorous training and awareness program, which will enhance their livelihood in the near future. And hence, I want to request Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen, Honorable Special Guest, Abul Kalam Azad, the Honorable British Ambassador, Robert Chattison Dixon, and of course, the UNDP country representative, Sudipta Mukherjee, that we must mobilize funds for these sort of initiatives, such as these climate camps, to be more kind of engaging all across Bangladesh. We must engage our youth, and we must give them the opportunity to create what we want our world to be. I do not want to emphasize more. I think COP26 is something that we are all looking for, but of course, these are of policy and advocacy and lateral engagements, but we ourselves need to take a lead the way that is being shown by our Honorable Prime Minister. She has always mentioned, since we are the affected ones, we should be the leaders in making change happen. Hence, I want to congratulate for this organizing such an important event. And of course, I want to be engaged with it, and I would hope that all the participants, and especially the chief guest and special guests would actually encourage us and would create and give us these tools so that we can mobilize our youth for the betterment of this world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Naheem Razak MP, for your kind words. Robert, can you hear me? You're muted. So little bit technical problem from like Robert's side. So now ladies and gentlemen, like we will get a few of the questions from our participants, few of the questions. So I'm just read out the question. Like one of the participant, he wrote, like, I request to Honorable Foreign Minister, please talk about plastic pollution in Cox's Bazar issues. We need to take an emergency step to protect Cox's Bazar. So Rahman Jia, he also asked to us, without private sector investment, it's absolutely impossible to tackle climate change. So these are the issues. Now it's time to welcome our chief guest of today's program, His Excellency Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen, Honorable Foreign Minister, People's Republic of Bangladesh, to share his kind thoughts. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Muhammad Mamoon Mia. The Honorable Naheem Razak, Member of Parliament, His Excellency Abul Kalam Azad, Special Envoy of Global Adaptation Center, His Excellency High Commissioner, British High Commissioner, Mr. Robert Dixon, Dr. Sudipto Mukherjee of UNDP, distinguished guest, my young friends, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. We know the consequence of Chernobyl nuclear accident. We know Hiroshima and Nagasaki, or Bhopal, India, where thousands died instantly. However, the emerging challenge, the climate change, is not killing us in a blast like that of Hiroshima. Yet, millions will lose their comforts in life and living due to it. Therefore, I'm pleased to attend Climate Camp 2021, organized by the Earth, to focus on resetting our relations with the nature to fight against the adverse impacts of climate change. I thank the Earth for inviting me today, especially on the occasion of the World Environment Day, during this critical period when COVID-19 pandemic and climate emergency have brought together unprecedented challenges. Dear participants, climate change is a global phenomenon that needs to be addressed through collective efforts and innovative solutions, not only internationally or nationally, but also in the local and regional levels. The impacts of climate change on the environment, people, and economics are being felt by every country on earth. Bangladesh is one of the most vulnerable countries to the adverse impacts of climate change. The country is experiencing extreme climate change impacts that are affecting national economy and development, as well as lives and livelihoods of the people. Many people are being uprooted from their sweet homes and traditional jobs due to river erosion and erratic climatic changes. Ladies and gentlemen, in recent years, extreme weather conditions like extreme heat, intense precipitation, and drought have become more frequent and severe in Bangladesh. Moreover, floods and flash flood, tropical cyclones, storm surges, landslides, droughts are being felt severely and likely to become more repeated phenomena and severe in the coming years. Also, Bangladesh is a low-lying country having 19 coastal districts with around 42 million population, which are under the threat due to climate change and subsequent sea level rise, cyclones, tidal surge, and permanent inundation. Significant number of people are becoming climate migrants inside Bangladesh because of river erosion. These changes will affect and slow down the significant achievements that Bangladesh has made over the last decade in improving economic and social aspects. Achieving the SDGs will also become more challenging. Moreover, we are facing serious climate impact because of 1.1 million forcibly displaced Rohingyas. Dear participants, on the other hand, the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic has brought greater negative impact on livelihoods of the people as well as economy of Bangladesh. Even during COVID-19, Bangladesh has experienced severe flood due to climate change. Heavy monsoon rains in upstream regions continue to cause flooding in 30 districts in the north, northwest, and southwest of the country, affecting nearly 54 million people. Flooding has damaged houses, dikes, and embankments, water sources, hygiene facilities, and has severely impacted livelihoods, especially in the agriculture sector and fishery. Distinguished discussant, the UN Decade of Ecosystem Restoration is being launched with efforts to halt and reverse the decline of the natural world. Since the pandemic disrupted normal lives, the most important challenge will be to balance the relationship between human systems and natural systems. The theme of this year, the ecosystem restoration, aims to prevent, halt, and reverse the degradation of ecosystems on every continent, in every ocean. According to the UNEP, ecosystem restoration means preventing, halting, and reversing this damage, to go from exploiting nature to healing it. This will help in tackling poverty and combat climate change, and taking the theme forward will be successful only if there is people's participation. Bangladesh strongly believes that only with healthy ecosystems can we enhance people's livelihoods, counteract climate change, and stop the collapse of biodiversity. Distinguished discussants, Bangladesh is the victim of the effects of global pollution without being a polluter. Every year, we are spending an average of 2.5% of our GDP, nearly about $5 billion on climate adaptation and resilience building. Ladies and gentlemen, here I would like to share with you all some of the important policy initiatives taken by the government to address the challenges of climate change under the dynamic leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. And these are, first, Bangladesh is pursuing a low carbon development path to substantially raise our NDC and adaptation ambition. We have further included new sectors in addition to existing ones like energy, industry, and transport sectors in the mitigation process. Two, we are planning to submit a quantified, ambitious NDC by end of June this year. We also announced our net zero target in the future. We were the first LDC to set up our climate change trust fund from our own resources back in 2009. Nearly $450 million have been allocated to this fund since then. A total of over 800 projects have been taken under this initiative, of which around 400 have been completed. Three, we are working on formulation of a national adaptation plan, which will enhance climate resilience of the country. We hope to complete it by this year. Fourth, recently the government has adopted a 20-year National Solar Energy Action Plan 2021 to 2041 that envisages up to 40 gigawatts of renewable energy generation and a capacity by 2041. Over the last few years, we have installed more than 5.8 million solar home systems in off-grid areas of the country, ensuring supply of solar electricity to around 18 million people, basically 12% of the country's total population. Sixth, to promote energy savings and to improve energy intensity in 2030 by 20% compared to 2013 level, we adopted the Energy Efficiency Conservation Master Plan up to 2030 in 2015. Seventh, a major transformation is ongoing in Bangladesh in transport sector. You know, mass rapid transit, MRT, and bus rapid transit, BRT, are being introduced in Dhaka, which will significantly reduce pollution in Dhaka metropolitan area. Eighth, in Bangladesh, we are observing the birth centenary of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, by planting almost 30 million saplings nationwide. We are going to implement the Mujim Climate Prosperity Plan to achieve low carbon economic growth. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to go further in the area of mitigation. To protect our people from getting inundated by sea level rise and river erosion and from becoming climate migrants, we need to create embankments high enough and wide enough to sustain natural disasters. Forestation of mangrove around these embankments will work both as buffers during the natural calamities like cyclones and surges, and will also work as carbon sinks. You are probably aware that the roots of mangrove trees can absorb and contain carbons, I'm told, for up to 22 years. We can also use the space on the embankments for installing solar panels and wind turbines to provide electricity to nearby off-grid areas, and also to supply to the national grid. In addition, a beautiful road on the coastal embankment will be a scenic road that will create jobs for tourism. The government of Bangladesh is doing its best to tackle the climate challenges. Its national parliament adopted a resolution known as planetary emergency. In addition to that, I strongly believe that participation from youth and civil society in collaboration with the government can bring the best result for Bangladesh to achieve sustainable solutions. To create awareness at community level is the first step to bring result in national level, where individuals, activists, community leaders, and youth like you, your youth-led organization can bring solutions to sharing best practices for better adaptation and mitigation. We must take the opportunity to build back better for a sustainable, prosperous, and resilient future through shared responsibility and concerted actions in climate area. Ladies and gentlemen, we as individuals also should stop polluting our environment and neighborhood and stop discharging chemicals into rivers and ponds. Please don't throw plastic items, plastic bottles, polythene bags indiscriminately. Stop food waste and food loss, and try to conserve natural resources to help biodiversity. If we all do our part, we are sure to save this planet Earth. We can help our planet Earth by doing little things. Each of us, if we make a habit of it, of saving conserve our resources, I'm sure we can go a long way. Let's remember, little drops of water, little grains of sand make the mighty ocean and the pleasant land. No wonder your little help will surely save our wonderful planet. Thank you very much. Joy Bangla, Joy Bangabandhu.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing thoughts with us. And before we inaugurate our website, Robert, can you hear me?
To unmute.
Yeah, I think there is a technical problem from maybe Robert's side. He cannot unmute for any such technical reason. We are really sorry, Robert, because we have you today.
We can talk on the phone.
Yeah, that's actually kind of a good idea. Yeah, so can we actually, okay, we lost him again, unfortunately. So we will move forward to the website launching.
Now it's time for declaration, the website of climate literacy. So it's really helps to our youth student and also youth activists to get the knowledge and all. So this website is a result of hard work, research and voluntary participation of the members of the arts family. I want to express my heartiest gratitude to our one of volunteer, Emily. She is working with us, and he's basically a disaster and risk management student in Denmark, and one of our intern, Maisha Nausheen Moitri, Environmental Science and Management, Bangladesh University of Professionals, BOP, and our very own Abu Moshe Julal Bhai, web platform manager, for putting efforts to create this website. So now I would like to request our honorable chief guest, His Excellency Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen, Honorable Foreign Minister, People's Republic of Bangladesh, to declare the website. Sir.
I'm humble to declare this, climate camp and this initiative. We are the last generation to restore the earth. We are generation restoration, and climate quiz is open. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for doing this honor of inaugurating this climate literacy website. So we are just concluding our program within a few minutes. So, like, if anyone can explore our this climate camp program, and like we are creating a platform. It's called Climate Camp. So there is an Expo one. So you can go there and explore our programs, our youth activities here. So thank you, Honorable Chief Guest, Excellencies, special guest to joining with us in this Climate Camp 2021. Special thanks to our Climate Camp organizers and participants for participating in this Climate Camp 2021 and make it successful one. So thank you all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. কেমন দেখেন কেমন কি করবেন